Hello all. A very quick one today, unless I waffle like I usually do. This one is a bit of a trick, a bit of a tip. One that it's been as old as Photoshop itself, but it surprised me how few people know this one or have used it. And it's just one of those things that can save a bit of time, and it also opens up some possibilities. If you're not used to using things like blending modes, you start to think, there's some power here. So yeah, let's have a look at it. And this one is how we use the black and white adjustment layer to fine tune a color image. So rather than me just witter on, let's get started. So the first thing we need on our image is a black and white adjustment layer. So keep clues in the title. But yeah. So once we have that, we need to do something with it so we can adjust the color image. And what we're going to do is, in this instance, is we're going to change the blending mode to luminosity. There we go. And that gives us our color image back to where we started, as though we'd never done anything. But here we go. So we've got some sliders now, and we've got our image. And very often we're looking at our images, we're looking around and we're seeing things like, oh, good grief, these yellow highlights up here, they're probably a bit distracting. I want to remove those. And you might clone, you might color balance. There's a number of things you can do. Here's what we can do with the black and white adjustment layer in luminosity mode: is we can start to bring the yellows down, and our yellow highlights, they all but disappear. And I say the same about this lot. We might consider a lovely lizard here to be the focus of the image, and the green background just a little bit, those highlights just a bit distracting. So there you go, get rid of those. Just darken them down. And already we've adjusted the image quite considerably. We haven't had to worry about layer masks and and all those fiddly bits of fine tuning. But now I'm looking at the lizard and thinking, what can we do with him? And I'm looking here. You can see that cursor there on his nose and his mouth. That looks very blue, very cyan. So I'm going to adjust that, and I'm going to darken that. Let's see what we would lighten it, darken it, lighten it, darken it. I'm going to give I'm going to opt to darken. There's some cyans there. I'm going to bank on there being some blues, and there are. So there we go. We can see we're adding some real texture to the lizard there. Some real image, some real contrast. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm looking here now down the body of the lizard, and there's some clear reds there. And what can we do with those? Let's have a look. Lighten them. Oh no, it doesn't. Looks all right. Darken them. Yeah, do you know what? I like them darken. So there we go. Now, what we got? We've adjusted that, and you know what? We might be happy with it. This isn't a final edit, by the way. This is just, as I say, a quick tip. We're looking at that. And we're thinking, that's brilliant, but we've lost all the life, all the shine from the eyes, So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use our layer mask, and I am going to just remove it. So I'm using black as a foreground color, so that anything I dab on my layer mask then will make that part of this layer invisible. There we go. We brought the eye back. And do you know what? If you wanted to go the extra mile, what we could do is create another black and white adjustment layer, put that on luminosity, and what colour's in his eyes. I'm only looking at his eyes now. What colour's in there? We've got, some reds. Yeah, we like that. Some yellows. Yeah, let's totally change the whole of the image. So what I'm going to do now is just, again, use a layer mask. And I'm going to do a bit of a cheat here. So I'm going to take the layer mask of the one underneath. I'm going to hold the Alt, and then I'm going to click and drag and replace the layer mask on the target layer. Yes. Well, obviously that layer mask is the wrong way around. So if I click on the layer mask and go Control or Command, if you're on Apple, I for invert. There we go. And let's have a look between. I mean, this is a really quick edit. So I've only been at this 2 or 3 minutes. So let's have a look. Oh, wrong one. There we go. That's how before, and that's our after. I don't know what you think of that. I think it's I think it improves it a bit. Who knows? But the point is, it's not a finished image. The point is, that's a very quick way of handling things that, especially when you've got a color contrast the image with a color contrast in the foreground and background. You can start to highlight things without all the fiddly layer masks. Let's just run through another quick one. Do exactly the same. Let's open up a black and white adjustment layer. Change the blending mode to luminosity, and we've got our slides here. Now, this one is it's not a very exciting image at all, but I'm sure we can do better with it. So let's. Oh yeah, liking that. It's not doing much for our butterfly, but we can always mask in a bit. Let's do the same with the reds. Hey, do you know what? Push the reds up. It looks all right. I think we're going to need to. Let's give that a go. So, all right, I'm going to drag that down. Just thinking about the background at the moment. Yeah, liking that. So yeah. So push the greens back. Our background disappears. We will bring our butterfly back. Don't worry. Oh, look at that! I'm moving the cyans, and there's obviously some reflections of the sky in the leaves there, and that brings it down. So oh look, blues not affecting much in the image at all there. What about our magentas? Oh hello, look. You see, I'm liking this. Now we by adjusting the colours we lost some of the detail in those flowers, and we've just brought it back with that one. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is create another one. I'm going to make that invisible for just a second. With this one, I'm going to give ourselves a nice little. I'm going to paint a layer mask in to just bring our butterfly back. Just a very rough one I'll do. And I'll just hit X, and that. Oops. I've just hit X, and that has changed my foreground colour to white. Sorry, because I just want to bring some of these. There we go. And back to black, just to bring that back. Right, there we go. I think that's looking pretty good already, actually. So let's have a look at the before and after so far. Yay, we're liking that, aren't we? It's looking a bit better. Let's see what we can do with the butterfly. So go up to our next, our most recent black and white layer that we added, and we haven't done anything with yet. Change the blending mode to luminosity. And I'm just thinking about the butterfly now, so let's have a look, see what we can do. Let's brighten him, or never really thought about that. Brighten him or her. Yeah, make it nice and bright. There we go. And again, what I'm going to do is fill this with. Do you know what? I'll do the same again. So Alt, drag our mask up to a layer, an uppermost layer, replace, and then with the layer mask selected, so you can see the little bounding box is over the layer mask. Control I. There we go. Look at that, we inverted it. Let's have a look at the before and after. Before, after, before, after. Now, that's probably a bit too much if we're honest. But this is for the purposes of a demonstration. What I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to lighten up. Am I? Let's have a look. Just lighten that up. My intention now, again, is to fill this with black. I don't want to say this. I'm talking about the luminosity mask. I'm talking about the mask. I've got luminosity masks on the brain. And now I'm just going to bring the our subject back. I'm doing that by creating an ellipse curve. I'm now going to fill that with white. There we go. And obviously, that looks a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? So I'm going to feather the mask. There we go. Let's have a look. What do we think now? Considering our super quick edit. So before, before. Yeah, a bit rubbish, isn't it? But you get the point. Black and white layers, luminosity to control the luminosity of your colours. It's a tool in your toolbox. Don't have to use it, but it's there. It's a demonstration of what you can do with blending modes on layers. And don't forget, you've also got blending modes on colours, colours on tools. Have a look at that. Have a play with it. See how you get on. You may not ever use it, but it's one of those things that's there if you want it. Speak to you later.